Welcome to all. Unedited, unfiltered. You guys are in for a real treat. My name is Joey.
And I'm Eric, and we're your hosts, and welcome to Raw Minds.
Fuck yeah, I love it. It is quite an honor and to be sitting here this evening with you, Eric.
100%, brother, 100%.
This has been a long time coming. I know myself is beyond excited. We've been working on this for quite a while, and I am so happy to be here.
Yeah. This is going to be a crazy journey for us and possibly all of you guys too. This is going to be, exciting, definitely. I'm even fucking speechless, to be honest with you, man. I can't believe we're here. We're doing this, man. Like this is fucking mind blowing, and I'm happy. I'm fucking so happy.
Oh, me too, buddy. Me too. I am just through the moon that I get to sit here with you and do this show. And for all you guys tuning in, this is about mental health and helping others and being able to talk, and it's just everything, man. Like just to sit here and be able to give some advice from our past experiences, and whatever we can do. So
definitely, and we'll be pushing the boundaries definitely on a lot of shit. And like I said before, in the intro there, we're not doctors, we're not therapists, counselors, anything like that. No experience. I mean, I'm in construction, so but we're just running off of life experiences and what we've been through.
100%.
We just want to shed a little bit of light of what we have done and what we've been through and the struggles that we've had, and maybe that'll put you guys on the right path too if you're struggling with something.
Oh, 1,000,000%. That's why we're doing what we're doing right now. Like Eric said here, we're definitely not doctors, but I promise you, the list of traumas and chaos that's occurred in our lives is the reason why we're sitting here today. And we definitely have a lot that you guys can relate to, and going forward in the future, and listening to some of our stories will definitely, like Eric said, will shine some light, and hopefully be able to touch one person at least, and for us to be able to help you where we can. So again, it is quite a night, and I'm excited. So
oh yeah,
let's fucking do this.
All right. So you want to do the honors? I'll let you just crack this baby right the fuck open.
I think we're gonna go straight into the deep shit. So
I think your fucking goggles on.
Yeah. The big one, is not just in my own experiences, but in everybody in general.
Mm-hmm.
Is grief and loss. And as you guys know, grief and loss comes in all different forms and levels. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
From the severity of death to heartbreak to friendships, and
animals.
Yeah, your dogs, your pets, your anything and everything, right? It comes in all different forms, and it's definitely one of the hardest parts of life, I think, is to be able to push through times of loss and grief, and to try to do the best you can to come out the other side. So it's definitely, something that we can definitely relate to, because there's been a lot of that in my life, and I know, in Eric's life,
Oh yeah, yeah,
so I think today we're going to be really touching down on, you know, maybe we'll share a couple stories, and even some positives out on the other side on, some things that we've done, or
yep,
to help deal with those situations, right? So
yep. Or even our point of views too, of like what we think and how our mind, how we've set our minds in control, like got that mindset. Because I think, I mean, I don't think I'm the only one here between me and you, Joey, that I think we're getting that enlightenment, I guess you could call it, if you're, yeah. But I mean, we're starting to really, grow up, I guess you could say.
oh, for
But
sure. I don't even know
you
if
know,
I'm still fully grown up, and I'm 41.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but
I mean, you gotta have fun. But I mean, you know, I think just because of all our experiences, we get our the way we think and handle things maybe is more logical in some sense than a lot of people out there.
well, I think,
I
yeah,
don't.
like I understand what you're saying. It's all about
Yeah,
looking at it in perspective, and on being self-aware,
yeah,
right, on how you handle certain situations. But like, it's definitely tough, when we're
yeah,
talking about, especially the grief and the loss, and the feelings that you go through. You know what I mean? It's very hard to think
yeah.
clearly.
Definitely, man.
It's that for sure. Like, even, I've just come to the point of learning self-awareness, but even at this point, when I've dealt with a few losses already in the summertime, and there's moments where you're not able to be self-aware because you're caught up in that feeling of, of the hurt. So
Yeah,
it's definitely not easy, and it's something that we've all struggled with, or you know what I
most
mean,
definitely.
right? So it's just trying to find that self-awareness in those times is what's really going to make, your you coming out the other side a little bit easier.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So it's
yeah, most definitely.
it's definitely not an easy path, and it's not a, it is a part of life, whether we like it or not, because we've all suffered it in some form or another, right? So,
Yeah, and if you haven't, you will.
and not that we wish it upon you, but it's
No,
gonna come,
but
like,
that's life, man. Life sucks. I mean, it fucking pulls curveballs all over the place, man. That's life. We're here, we live, we eat, we shit, we die. And whatever you do in between, that's what your life is, really.
yeah,
But I mean, we're just borrowing these vessels.
yeah, it's what you do with your life in the middle of that, right?
100%.
You are where you are in your life is only because of you. So
Yeah.
what you choose to do with your life is your own, choices. But
Mhm.
you know, in in the subject of the grief and loss, it's also what you do to get out of that,
Mhm.
and to continue to, live, and, you know, better yourself, even in the midst of that much pain and hurt, and
Yeah.
and suffering, really, because you can't, I believe that it's okay to sit in it for,
You have to, man.
a brief time. You have to, because
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
when you feel, you heal, but
Yeah.
you just can't stay in it, and it's tough because it's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
With, in my past experiences, you can't get out of bed, you can't eat, you don't want to
No.
shower, you don't want, your house is filthy because you're just running on autopilot, and
Yep.
whatever it may be, right? But you just, as hard as it is, in those moments where you are broken or feel broken and shattered, is when you really just got to push the hardest to, you know, continue with the things in your life that need to be done. Otherwise, you
Yeah.
know, you might be suffering the loss or, you know, the hurt of one thing. And then once you
Hmm.
start letting those other things go, and you might lose your job now because you're not going to
Yeah.
work. You're not taking
Exactly.
care of yourself. You know, you're gaining weight if that's the case, sitting around doing nothing and just
Or getting skinny, man. Not even eating too. That's
or
another thing as
complete
well.
opposite, and then you're feeling
Yeah.
shitty about yourself because you look at yourself in
Yeah.
the mirror and it just all butterfly effects, right? So
Yeah.
in the middle of, you know, that one thing is where it's the hardest for sure to try your best to stay on the right track, to not let the other things be affected as well, because then that's why a lot of people fall off and stay in it for a year, 2 years, because they don't know how to get out of that, right? So,
Yeah.
you know,
See, my whole thing is like, I mean, the world keeps on moving and you got to move with it. You know, you can't just sit around and mope. You can't do it. I mean, you're just going to get left behind and you can't do that. I mean, especially if you got kids, you got to keep on pushing and fucking just kick ass, man, you know, and run and move with the world.
you know, I heard,
It's like,
yeah, like I heard Kevin Hart say this actually, that, you know, regardless of how we feel, that sun is going to shine every day in the morning,
yeah,
no matter what.
yeah,
Doesn't matter how we
yeah.
feel.
Well, you're in construction, bro, you know, and say a guy falls and dies, you know, falls off the tower, dies. Yeah, that tower, yeah, it's gonna stop production for who knows, maybe even up to a month, even longer, depending on whatever happens. And then boom, that tower's gonna go back up again. You know what I mean? Like it's fucked.
Yeah. So yeah, it's yeah, man, it's a part of life. We all struggle with
Yep.
it. We will
Yep.
all still struggle with it. And, you know, the amount of, you know, grief and loss that myself and I know you've suffered, you
Yeah.
know, that's it doesn't mean that it's done. It's over because
Yeah.
life goes on and things happen, right? So it's how do you
Yeah.
prepare for that? How do you deal with those situations the best that you can? So all those other things in your life, your parenting, your job, your weight, your, you know what I mean, your day-to-day
Mental
habits,
health, bro.
your mental health is the big one, right?
Yeah, man. Definitely. You gotta take care of yourself.
It's it's definitely it's a tough one, man. It's
Definitely.
really tough, you know, and
Yeah.
I've been there 10 times over, and again, that's why I'm sitting here tonight, and I'm going to
Yeah.
sit here with you every week because, you know, for me to overcome a lot of what I've dealt with personally is just I'm surprised I'm sitting here because there was times where I wasn't going to be here anymore, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that. You know, we all still battle our own demons, but as long
Yeah.
as you're moving towards, you know, bettering yourself, that's the main thing, and each day gets a
Yeah.
little bit better.
And
So
it does. And even if it doesn't feel like it, I mean, you're awake, you know what I mean? You're still alive. It's the next day, you're still alive. That's a good fucking day. You know, when you're feeling down, that's a good day. And you got lots to look up for, man. You just got to keep on fighting, right? That's all it is. You just don't let your mind win cuz like it's a dangerous place definitely when you get caught in that shit.
yeah,
It's like a jail, you know?
for sure, you know, and I think in the world that we live in today too, it's a lot of people are so caught up in the that the material things is what's gonna
Oh
is
yeah.
gonna make
Yeah.
them happy.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I was like that because I was dealing with my own shit and struggling.
Mhm.
Oh, if I got a new car, I'd feel better. Or if
Yeah.
I did this and I would feel better. And a lot of people live like that. Well, if I got that new Gucci purse and all this
It's a
material,
band-aid, bro.
that's all. It's retail therapy, right? We've
Yeah.
all done it.
Yeah.
I'm guilty
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, me too,
But you know,
man.
I remember going out and buying a fucking brand new sports car, you know, because I was feeling shitty in life, and then only
Yeah.
have to have huge car payments, making myself feel worse. And
Yeah.
then 2
No,
weeks
you're
later,
stressing.
and now 2 weeks later, I'm just like, "You're a fucking idiot." And I still feel shitty. And even though I have a nice car, I
Yeah.
still felt shitty because I wasn't
Yeah.
fixing the inside. I was masking it from the outside,
100%.
right? So, and we all do that, right? It's just like when, in loss and grief, especially like heartbreak, for example, everyone has to be distracted because I get it. That's the one of the worst feelings on the planet. And
Yeah.
nobody wants to feel like that because it sucks.
Yeah.
And we all just
Yeah.
try to distract ourselves, and you gotta, that's why they call the rebounds, or you're just hanging out with friends every single day and you're doing this, and it's
Yeah.
okay to distract yourself, but
In like healthy ways, you know what I mean?
th-
Definitely healthy ways.
there's help,
You don't want to. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. It's what you choose to do at that time and distractions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, as long as it's towards bettering yourself. But in my personal experience and what I've learned is, I think that you shouldn't distract yourself all the time, and to be alone and to feel those feelings, as shitty as it is, because I
Yeah.
believe that once you get through that first part of, your emotions, and whether it's crying or whatever, you gotta, you know what I mean, that you're releasing it, and instead
Yeah.
of blocking it, and you're just dragging it out. Because if you look at a lot of people, it takes them a year and a half to get over a breakup. Why is that?
Yeah.
Because you spent the first 6 months drinking every night and hanging out with your friends, and you didn't really take it into to accept it. And I know
Yeah.
it
It's
you know
yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just like pushing the fucking your just emotions down and down and down. And eventually, man, like if you're gonna be drinking and all that, well, usually they do, they're out partying, slutting around, or even men. And I mean, it just catches up with you, and then you'll be probably drunk one time, and these emotions are gonna pour out, and then you're just gonna feel like shit the next day, and it's just gonna keep on pouring. And usually that's when they come running back. Not all the time. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, a lot of times that's when that happens, right?
yeah, for sure. And in any situations of loss, whether it is the heartbreak or not, is you gotta
Yeah,
give. And people, I would say 95% of people don't, is give yourself that time to be alone. And everyone's like, I
yeah,
can't be alone, but you have to feel those
yeah.
emotions. You have to, you know,
Ride the roller
you
coaster.
have to, like I said,
Yeah,
when you feel, you heal, right?
yeah.
When you block that
Well,
out and you mask that for 6 months, well, you just added six
yeah,
months to getting over that situation,
yeah,
right? So
exactly.
but again, you're in that state of mind because you're broken. You're, well,
Yeah,
and you don't know how to deal with it, and it's easier for you to sleep because you
yeah,
decided to drink instead,
yeah.
or you know,
Running on emotions, man. And
100%.
it's the wrong ones. You're not using your heart or your head. You're just or maybe your heart, I don't know. You're not I mean, you should be using your head, sorry. And you're just running on fucking crazy other emotions, right? And just wild. I've been there. I've been there like bunch of times. And then at the end of the day, I look like a fucking idiot, you know?
Oh, 100%, buddy.
But
So, we've all been there,
yeah.
we all done it.
But yeah. But you saw me in this last little thing that just happened. High road every fucking time, man. You know what I mean? There's nothing you could say. High road every motherfucking time. And they couldn't say shit.
That's how you got to look at it, right?
Yeah.
You have to take the high road. You got to,
Yeah.
one thing I've learned in the past, and it's really helped me, is you just got to lose the ego.
Yeah.
And even if
Definitely.
you got to let them think they won, whatever it is, because your life is just so much better and easier and more peaceful when you drop that ego. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't care. You're not coming to my birthday party. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I mean, even walking down the street, man, guy calls me, "Oh, you're wants to fight me." I say no. Man, winning to me is going home to my family, you know? I don't care. Call me a bitch, whatever you want, buddy. Like, fuck, I don't give a shit. Who are you to me? Whatever. I mean, I will fucking throw down if you come at me, definitely. But I'm not like if I'm gonna try to prevent something, I'm gonna prevent something. Like I'd rather fucking go home to my kid, man, instead of throw down. And it's all about that mentality. Fuck the ego. Who cares? These people aren't your friends. Who cares? Unless people are coming at you and you gotta protect yourself, fucking let the ego go. Who cares, man? It's not even worth it.
Yep.
Got better things to do, you know. I'd rather go home and fucking, I don't know, watch Breaking Bad. Actually, I've seen it, but like then fight someone or something. I don't care. Don't get me wrong, I will protect myself. But anyways,
What about you, Eric? What about when you look at your past in certain situations, like, how did that make you feel, and like, what was the tools that you used to, try to get over that or make yourself better?
um, well, to be honest with you, man, death is no stranger in my life, right? Um, it's from the age of 5 to 18. I've watched every single family member die in my house. My mom was a nurse, and they didn't want to die in the hospital, so they all came to my house, and I watched every single one of them die from 5 to 18. So um, I got familiar with death, and I mean, buddy, you've known me for how long here now, and you've seen I've lost over also, God, over almost over 40 friends, more than that. I've lost count. I don't even know. I lost my best friend 2 years ago, a really, really close guy. Rest in peace, Garvin. 3 years. Chad, 2 years. My other buddy, Alex, the same week my best friend died. But the thing that hit me the most, bro, in my last year was my dog. And in this year, though, when my fiance passed away. And literally, it's 4 months she passed away. 4 months right now on Father's Day. It was horrible, 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 horrible. you know, and there was a lot of things going on. I wasn't even. She was at her mom's house when she passed, and a lot of things going on. And then I was getting blamed for shit, because like when people die, bro, you seen it, man. You seen it, right? When people die, you know, just fucking it goes crazy, dude. Goes crazy. My grandma died, bro, and fucking I was outside her house with my mom, and I watched my cousin and her husband come fucking flying down the fucking street. Literally, they're like in this piece of shit. I don't even know what it was. Some old fucking brown Ford shit box thing. Because I'm a kid, and like e-brake this fucking thing pretty much. And then they got out and ran and fucking was starting like vultures running in the houses. Man, have you ever fucking dealt with that, bro? Like vultures, like when people die.
Oh yeah, some
Like,
people do not care. They're greedy. They just uh actually my stepdad passed away in the summer, and
yeah,
he had daughters obviously on his side or whatnot, and they're all, our age and
yeah,
grown up, and the second he died, there goes this big screen TV, there goes the couch.
yeah.
Let's
It's
put this house
disgusting.
let's put this house up for sale. I'm just like, man, like you guys,
Yeah.
like the funeral hasn't even happened yet, and you guys are already picking out the freaking china out of the cabinet.
Yeah,
Like it's
disgusting,
just,
man.
people are just pieces of shit. A
Vultures,
lot of
bro.
them. Sorry, I should say not
Yeah,
all, but a lot of them are.
no,
They don't care
yeah,
about anybody.
yeah. Well, fuck, you saw firsthand, man. Like you were with me, like you saw, right? And how they like at the funeral, bro. Remember at the funeral, that was fucked. We sat in the back. I don't know, and then my poor girl's mom. She was devastated, obviously, because her daughter passed away, and she's like, these people are barely trying to hold her up. And I jumped over the stands and I ran to her and I was trying to like hold her. My heart's just breaking for her. And the lady just pushes me away and she's like, no. I can't believe that. I don't know. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare, man. They took everything. This like fucking couple days later, they came into the house and took all her stuff out of the house. That was hard. I had no time to grieve, bro. I really did. But they then my car was under her name. So it's in probate. They needed the keys. Everything they asked, I did. They needed the keys. They wanted out this the day after she passed. They asked me to move out in 2 months. I did that. No fighting. Always took the high road. You know, but it was hard, man. But like, what got me through this whole thing is I understand death, right? I really do. And this is my intake on what I believe. People die. That's it. People fucking die. We're all gonna die. I'm gonna die, Joey. You're gonna die. We're all gonna die, man. At one point in life, we're gonna fucking die. And that person's gone. So my fiance or late fiance is gone. She's dead. She's gone. Um, she's never coming back. Forever. Forever is a long time, and that's forever. And you need to realize that. You can hold them in your heart and the memories that you always got, and the photos and the videos. You got all that shit. And you gotta hold on to that stuff, and you gotta understand and let go. Like when this was all going on, I just kind of ran into the whole thing. She's gone, and I felt that, and people are just questioning me, like, it hasn't been that long. Like how like you seem fine. Did you really love her? Like, yeah, she was fucking my everything. She was my girl, my fiance, my twin flame, like everything. She was a stepmother to my daughter. You know, of course I loved her. I just understand death a lot more than other people. How about you, Joey?
Yeah, it's like you, I've seen a lot in my life, and
Yeah.
you know, my
Mhm.
one of my high school best friends hung himself in his closet. I watched what
Horrible.
I watched my 3-year-old nephew die of cancer. Among
Yeah.
other
That's
other friends and grandparents, and
yeah.
just this summer, and your fiance including is
Yeah.
good friend of mine. And
Yeah.
then 2 weeks later, my stepdad, and then 2 more weeks later, a good friend of mine again.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 and 7 weeks this summer. It's like
But how did you deal with that? Like, how did you like what got you through that? Because like I'm kind of a different breed in a sense, and I'm not trying to fucking say I'm this and that, but I mean it's just because of the past. Like I grew up with it. My mom already like prepped me for death, and she just told me she's ready to fucking go, man. Like a couple weeks ago, you know what I mean? But I'm okay. She lived her life, and I understand that. I may sound like a fucking asshole, but I'm very logical. I'm black and white, and I will fucking tell you yes or no, but I mean, like, so I'm a little like it's a little bit of a different category because I grew up with all this shit, which is fucked up in the head. But anyways, that's why we're here, I guess. But yeah. So like, how what made you like? How did you? What tools did you to like kind of push forward through that stuff?
well, as it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier in the night, about when you're in the middle of that, it's hard to think logically. You're emotional.
Yeah.
You don't know how to act because you feel broken.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to death and in the loss, it's a lot of the times it's, as it's unexpected.
Yeah.
And I think that makes it even worse. I mentioned my 3-year-old nephew, but he was in the
Mm-hmm.
children's hospital for 6 months, and we had an idea that that was a possibility. So it kind of lets you prepare for it
Yeah.
and not getting a, like in your
Oh, but
situation or even my other
shock.
friend, and to get that is definitely a lot harder because it hits you out of nowhere, and now you
Yeah.
really don't know how to act, and you it's so just like heartache, to help yourself get, you'll never get over the people that you loved, you'll never get over
Mm-hmm.
the people that has passed, and you'll always have a place in your heart for those people
Yeah.
for the rest of your life. But the one thing that helps you to move forward in your life, because you are still here and you still have responsibilities, you still got kids, you still have a job you have to go to, you still got to eat, is the number one thing is acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants, like, for
Yep.
you to get the call on your fiance, like, you don't want to accept that.
No.
We don't, I got the call at 3 in the morning about my nephew. Like, I don't want to accept that.
Yeah.
He's 3. There's no way that's possible. That should be possible, but that's life.
I know. That's fucked, man.
But in order for us as humans to get past these tragedies and loss, because it happens to us all, like we said,
Yeah.
is number one is you have to accept it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it, and
Yeah.
it's you just,
Unless you got a time machine.
yeah, but that's it. There's
Yeah.
absolutely
Nothing.
nothing when it comes to death you can do about it, period. And once you learn the acceptance part, is then, you know, they say time heals all wounds, and I don't believe that. I think
No.
time just makes it easier to remember.
100%, man.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You always hold it, the people that you lost, and even the relationships that didn't work out and you loved them. You always got a place in your heart. You always will. You'll be fine. You might see them on the
Yeah.
street one day, and you guys say what's up, and you're fine. But
Yeah.
there's always that place when it comes to people that has touched your lives, right? And
Yeah.
in the in the when it comes to actually losing people in your life due to death, it's they'll always be there. They're always looking down, whether you're religious or spiritual, whatever you may be. I believe myself, I'm not a religious man,
Mhm.
but I
Mhm.
truly believe that we'll see those people again somewhere. Where that is, I don't know, but it's yeah. So they will always be with you, but you have
Oh
to
yeah.
keep living your life, no matter what. You have to keep going. You got to try, like we said, to be, you know, try to be more self-aware on the actions that you're choosing to make.
Yeah.
If it's going to benefit you or if it's just putting a band-aid on your pain.
Yeah. But cry too, man. It's okay to cry. We're men. It's like I fucking cried when my fiance died, man. I sometimes scream in the shower. I let out a scream. Like just let it out. It's okay. Reach out to fucking your friends. But at the same time, you got to sit in it too. I mean, like reach out. I mean, you came and visit me a couple times. Well, actually, every time after work, you came, stopped by, and then you left home, and that was fucking awesome of you. But I mean, you saw me most. I'm just at home by myself because I fucking sat in it, you know. And I was like, okay, this is fucked up. What's the lesson I'm gonna learn from this? And that's how I look at it. Like what the fuck am I gonna learn from losing the most fucking important person in my life? And this is it right here. This is the fucking the light in the tunnel, like all the darkness is this podcast right here, and this is what I'm doing from what happened, and it's that's the light, and you got to find that shit, you know that's the only thing. Like it's fucking hard. Grief is fucking hard, like really hard though. You know, like I don't even know what kind of emotions it is, because it's like fucking I can't even explain it. It's fucking shit, man. I mean, like, you can hear the passion in my voice. It fucking sucks. But you gotta fight for that shit. Like grief, like, let me break it down. Grief, imagine you're in a ship and it fucking crashed. Pieces are everywhere, shit's gone everywhere, right? That's the person that passed away, okay? So you're holding on, you're in this water, and these waves are fucking just hitting you every 10 seconds, right? And you're holding on to this piece. And this wood piece, it could be like a picture or a pillow that smells like the person or whatever the fuck it is, right? But you're holding on, and these fucking waves are hitting you, right? And that's the wave of grief, and it's hitting you and hitting you. And then like a couple days go by and you're still holding on to that. And now the waves are coming every like 2 minutes, every 2 minutes it's hitting you. And then a couple more weeks go by. And now it's like every 5 minutes, and as time goes on, these waves of grief that are coming through, they'll hit you, but the 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 time between it takes longer, and it slowly does that. And then, like, I mean, something will come, like a street sign or a smell that reminds you of that person, and you'll hit another wave, you know and it's gonna get hard around like holidays and stuff like that, and you'll hit a couple waves. But as time goes on, those bad memories that you had, like, of like the loss, are all gonna start turning into good memories, and that's the shit that you need to hold on to. And that's a little breakdown about grief, that I've read before, and I just wanted to pass that on with the rest of you.
No, that's amazing, man. Like I haven't even heard an analogy like that.
Yeah,
So thank you for sharing that. And like I just
you're welcome, man.
looked at it in a different way as well, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for me, it's in the midst of my pain due to loss
Mm-hmm.
is you got to for a second kind of step outside of yourself in that moment the best you can to look at everything else around you. Like I said, you still got to go to work. Like me, I have two kids. Like they're my whole world. They count on me. I'm there for them every week. And if I fall apart or fell off and I start drinking to numb that pain and I start, popping pills or gambling, whatever,
Your
these
poison. Yeah,
whatever the poison is that you think is making you feel better in that day, which is, in the long term making you worse, it's that you got to find, or I found, I should say, in my journey of healing in those moments of loss is what I have in my life that is positive and that, you know what I mean, that I have to work hard towards still and being a father and you know what I
that's
mean?
your why, bro. That's your why. My kids, my why. Your kids are your why. That's why you do this shit. That's your why, right?
And when you think your whole world's crashing down on you, and
Yeah,
I get it. I've felt that 10 times over in my life
yeah, man.
and I sympathize 1,000,000% with depression to the
Yeah,
point where I almost took my life twice in my life. And I get it. But in that, you have to find, because there's always a positive in the negative. Even if you don't
yeah.
see it that day or that week, or you're like, there's no way there's a positive in someone passing away. And it is the worst. I wish that nobody would pass away, but
Hmm.
in that, something is going to come out of that, and you just said it, like we both would love to have your fiance back, but you've had to accept that she's not. But in
Yeah,
that, you're sitting here tonight
yeah,
talking to everyone listening
yeah.
to use this tragedy in your life as a positive to help
To
someone
help
else,
others.
to help
Yeah,
them not do the things we used to do or what people, you know what I mean, that
yeah,
in the positive way, to
yeah.
help people get through that.
Yeah.
and
And
not
the same goes with you, bro. I mean, this is why you're doing this too, man. You know? You
yeah,
wanna shed positive light. This the same thing goes with you. You're in the same boat, man.
yeah, and even not just in the loss. Like you guys will hear stories as we go, and there's a lot of them, and it'll probably
Mhm.
blow your mind because, like I said, when I went to counseling last year, even, and the counselor looks at you and says, "You cannot make this shit up." So
Yeah,
it's a lot, but for
yeah,
me, and like I said, when I sympathize with depression, I stood on the edge of a hotel and I almost jumped, and a security guard grabbed
yeah.
my back and stopped me.
Well,
So
I'm glad he did, buddy, 'cause
and that
I'm
was
glad
one
I'm sitting
time.
here with you.
So to be in those moments of my life, I understand it and I get it.
Mhm,
And for me to overcome a lot of that is the reason why I'm sitting here tonight, and I'm beyond grateful for that. And to be able
mhm.
to share my stories and share this platform with you to let the men and people out there know that you're not alone. Period.
No.
Like you are
And
in those moments, you feel like you are, but believe me when I tell you, and it makes it a little bit easier when you tell yourself that everybody's fucked up in some sort of a way. Everyone's got problems.
oh, yeah.
Everybody, right? It's
Yeah,
just how do you deal with them? Some people mask them better than others, but the people that mask them, all you're doing is just dragging it out. And then for
yeah.
me, I'm 41. I hit a pretty hard downfall at the beginning of last year, 40 years old, before my 41st birthday. And that was the biggest life eye opener I've ever had where, well, it's time to make these changes
Mhm.
because I just masked all my traumas and pushed it down like we all do.
Yeah. And you're fucking killing it, bro. You're fucking killing it. Especially that, what, 45 strong it's called?
70
Or hard, right?
no,
75 hard.
yeah, I did the 75 hard twice last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Fucking killed it.
so that was part of my healing journey. But I
Yeah.
will, now that you brought that up, if you
Yeah.
guys, even if you guys listening are not fitness people at all, do that program because it changed my life. I was
Say it
all
again. What's the name? Say it so they know.
75 hard. Look it up. It's all over YouTube, TikTok. It was created by a motivational speaker and a supplement owner named Andy Frisella. And when I was struggling bad at the beginning of last year, I caught on to that on a YouTube clip. And I'm like, you know what? This is something positive. And part of that program is reading every day, drinking water every day, all this kind of stuff. And I tell you, I never read a novel in my life. I can read, but because of that program, it gave you something to distract yourself in the most positive way possible. So if you're dealing with grief and heartbreak, especially, and
Yeah.
or the loss of somebody, is start that program. And if you've never been
Yeah.
to the gym ever, it doesn't matter because that will change your life. I swear by that because I ended up doing it twice. That's how much that changed me. Reading,
I seen it. I seen it. See it for my own eyes, man. And you have, and it's fucking like a beautiful like transition. It's fucking awesome. I'm proud of you. I'm fucking your hype man. I got your back 100%, brother.
yeah, and that worked for me. I'm suggesting it, and it doesn't going to be for everyone,
Yeah.
but I've seen people who've never stepped foot in a gym and they started doing that, and they pulled off that 75 days without alcohol,
Yeah.
reading every day, drinking, dieting, all this. It's a mental fitness program. It's not just going to the gym. It's
Yeah.
fixing your mind and
Yeah.
creating positive habits in your life. And
Full circle.
if that's not something that you're able to manage, then find something else that's positive to get yourself out of the funk and you know the whole. I'd say whole, but that state, that mental state, to come out of that, right? Because
Yeah.
anything and everything you can do that's positive will bring you out of that a little bit faster,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. Well, I think we should touch on a little bit about like relationship grief and like breakups and stuff. I think that's something probably a lot of people deal with, definitely.
Well, that's hand in hand with the grief and the loss, right? It's a different level
Yeah,
of it, right? Like we did talk about it
yeah, yeah,
briefly for a minute with heartbreak, but
yeah, yeah,
that's a different feeling, knowing that,
yeah.
you know, it
Loneliness,
the
man.
loneliness to go from,
Yeah,
how it is, where
yeah,
1 week it's fucking lovey dovey having family dinners with the kids, and you're
yeah,
at their house and just came back from a trip, and then a week after that it's over, overnight,
yeah,
not talking
yeah,
anymore, just like that, done.
yeah.
And it's
Well, how let's touch on this. So after a breakup, um, like what do you think? Like what's your strategy? Like what helps you?
after a breakup.
Yeah, like say this chick, you guys are together for like 2 years, right? Everything's great, and then she just turns to you and says, "Joey, I can't do this anymore." No reasons, nothing, and then just disappears.
Well, it's funny you said that because I dated a girl for 2 years that did the exact same thing. Got us a house. 3 months later, it was our house.
Yeah, you were living right by me, right?
Yeah, it was our housewarming on Super
Yeah.
Bowl, and I remember, like, I thought, like, this girl I was gonna marry at the time,
Yeah.
and we're having a housewarming Super Bowl party. I go out and get the munchies. Literally come back with the bag of munchies before people showed up. It's over. I'm sorry, what? I can't do this. I'm like, and I did not see it coming at all. 100% did not see this one coming. I did the best that I can as a man. I never cheated. I was loyal. I never swore at her once. She had two kids that I was a better dad to than the kid's dad himself.
Mhm.
So I've been there. And I actually, in
Yeah.
that one hurt. That was a tough one, but that one was 10 or 11 years ago, and where I was in my life at that time is definitely, and mentally, even before that breakup occurred, changed on how I dealt with that breakup. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So,
so how about this? How about the last one?
well, that one was the last one is kind of ties into that 75 hard I was talking about, because
Okay.
the
Okay.
last girl I dated was we broke up probably over a year and a half ago, and
Okay.
I that one hurt, but that one was the icing on the cake to years of built up, because trauma that I stuffed
Mhm.
down. And a
Mhm.
part of the reason why it was done is because I was shutting down because I kept dealing with outside issues and I didn't know how to deal with it. So
Yeah, so you have a lot of thing going on.
I unintentionally pushed her away, and I didn't
Yeah.
want, and then when she had enough, like, it hurt. And that was just the icing on the cake. But
Yeah.
in that, it hurt bad. And then for me, that's when I had to get up and be like, okay, you need to start making some changes to try to get out of this, because
Mhm.
I didn't come out of my room for 5 days. I lost 30 pounds in 6 days,
Yeah.
and whatnot. And the
Oh,
big,
I've been there, man.
yeah, you don't eat, like some of you that's
No.
been through it. Fuck, it sucks. It's
Yeah.
and it doesn't just take a month. It takes fucking forever.
Oh yeah.
It feels like forever,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I chose, that was the program I chose. Like I said, other people can do different things, but
Yeah.
I decided in that, like, I wasn't going to drink. I can't drink. I know it'll make it worse. I can't, do this or medicate. It's what can I do to better myself and feel better about myself. And that was,
Mhm.
the fitness. I just started, I was never I'm a gym guy, but I'm not a hiker guy. And I was hiking and
Yeah.
outdoors and doing different things and just kept pushing. So, you just, in that, you just have to be able to find, even different things you never even thought of trying. Start taking classes, or things that you always wanted to do, start doing
Yeah.
what would make you happy and give you a
That
little bit more
yeah.
purpose, right? So,
That didn't hold you back in relationships, because sometimes people, in relationships, they always wanted to do this, but their partner's not really that type of person, so they never get the chance to do that unless their partner. You know what I mean?
I
So you
w-
got to like step out of your comfort zone or whatever it may be to get to do those things.
it-
To keep busy, man.
well, I'll tell you this: if it wasn't for, and this is, when I mentioned earlier about finding the positive in the negative, at
Mhm.
that time, especially in heartbreak, there's nothing
Yeah.
positive about it. It's fucking terrible. You
Yeah.
and especially if you're not the one that initiated the breakup, you didn't want to break up. But it's
Yeah.
it's it's out of your control, and that's what makes it harder
Mhm.
to deal with. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Well,
But the positive in that, I didn't
mhm.
see until 6 months later, right? And even now, when I
Yeah.
look back at it, as much as at that time I really wanted to be with her,
Mhm.
and but if it wasn't for that pain at that moment, at that time, I wouldn't have done the 75 hard program at all, twice,
Mhm.
which changed me mentally and physically, which was the bonus.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even done that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have launched my now clothing line, and I would not be sitting here with you to this at
Exactly.
tonight doing this
We
because
may not even be friends.
and we exactly. And if it
Yeah,
wasn't
man.
for that hurt and that initial icing on the cake for me in my life, and the worst pain, but yet the most enlightening at the same time,
Yeah.
it wouldn't change the entire direction of my life. And now I'm
That's
sitting
right.
here because of that.
Yep. Exactly.
Right? So people, when or guys, when you're going through this, one, you're not alone. I know it is the worst pain ever, but you
Yeah.
have to find the positive in that, and you will not see
Yeah.
it today, and you might not see it
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
But
But it's there. It's
it is
there. You just got to
there.
look for it.
You look at it like the way I see it now is you weren't rejected, you were redirected,
Yeah.
right?
There's a lesson to be learned. Just you got to find it to learn, and you can.
Yeah, like I didn't
You
even.
wanna? Well, check this out. Check this out. So you want to hear my intake? Like after all the fucking crazy shit that I've gone through with like relationships and shit.
Let's hear it.
So this is how I look at it. And me, I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet, right? Really. Um, I look at it as like, I'm dating someone, we break up. You have to look at it as like it's a funeral. You have to mourn that person and you have to push on, you know, because that person's an ex and you got to let them go. And like that says, let them go. If they come back, they were yours. If it's not, they were whatever it is. Not. I guess whatever the fuck it is. I don't care. Anyways, it's like that saying, right? And that's how I think of it, man. I think you just gotta mourn them and move on. And it's hard. It's fucking hard. But I mean, fuck, I'm doing it right now, kind of in a sense. And it is hard. But like, I think that's the best way to process and keep on going on, man. Is just to mourn them. Fucking even have a little funeral for them outside. I don't care. You know, bring all your fucking stuffies. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That's my take on it now. Just after the experiences.
Well,
And I'm not saying. Don't get me wrong. Sorry, and I'm not saying like like if you're friendship or not. Like, don't ever talk to them if you're friends. I mean, some people break up, on good terms and shit, and it's all good. And that's okay. You don't have to like mourn them, like never talk to them again if you're friends like that. But I mean, if it's a bad breakup or it's a normal breakup, then fuck it. Who cares? You know.
well,
But then again, sorry to cut you off one more time, brother. Yeah, and again, I never really see people break up and then be friends. I don't really think to see that's a real true thing there, to be honest with you. But that's my own opinion. Anyway, sorry to cut you off again, brother.
no, it's all good, man. Like, yeah, like I have exes that I'm friends with, but not friends with. And you know what I mean? Like, ones
Acquaintances.
like yeah, like you'll see them on social media for a minute, and sometimes, oh, hey, how's the family? And then you dated them 10 years ago, or you might catch them at a house party, and like you guys are cool, whatever. But I mean, when it
Yeah.
comes to the heartbreak and the loss, like you said, mourning, the number one thing you have to try to get to is acceptance. And
Yep.
with heartbreak and death is two different pains, because with death at least there's no coming back from that. Like, you know, in your mind that day, it's like closure that day. You know that they are gone. You don't want to accept it at the time, but at the same time, you already have accepted it because it's a death.
Yep.
Heartbreak, you don't accept it. And, you know, when you're not the one that initiated that breakup, that's why it is fucking hard, is
Yep.
because in the first probably couple months, you're hoping they message you and you're hoping to get back with them, and you're not accepting that it's over because they're still there.
Yeah.
They're just not
Yep.
talking to you right now. They're still there. So for
Yep.
you to accept it when you didn't want it to be over, that's why heartbreak lasts for so long, because
Yeah.
people don't accept it, or they're back and forth with a message or a phone call. But I'll tell you this,
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a relationship and they tell you that it's over, you have to cut it that day. You're
Yep.
you're not playing games, because I tell you this in my experiences, because I did it to myself and we've all done it, is you will drive yourself into the ground 100 times worse. Is
Oh yeah.
if you go back and forth with them and you send them
Yeah.
messages, you know, you can, that day they tell you it's over, you need
Yeah.
to start that day of moving on. As hard as it is, because I promise you it's going to be even harder if
Yeah.
they're playing games with you for another month or two and then you're starting again.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh, but why were you saying this last week and then this week you're cold again? Like, don't let them play games. If they tell you it's over, that came out of their mouth, it's over. Move on. You have to cut it that day and fucking heal yourself
Mourn it, man.
that day.
Mourn it. Yeah.
But that, you know, that also comes with a lot of, you know, insecurities and low self-esteem. You know, they think, you
Yeah.
know, like, well, I'll never find someone. Like, yeah, you will. I promise you, you will. Because in that heartache, like for
Yeah.
me, an example, in that 75 hard or whatever you guys decide to do that's positive in that direction, that will make you level up in your life. You will attract better people in your life, because that's exactly what happened with me. And you will attract more money in your life. You will attract, you know what I mean,
Yep.
that lifestyle, because now you're taking care of your body. Now you're, you know what I mean, you're eating better, or you're hanging out with better people, or now you're doing things that you never thought you would do because of that
Yep.
breakup, right? So it's all
Yep.
about leveling up in your life, and every year trying to be better. Every day you got to try to be better. But I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I always tell people, I mean, if you fast forward a year from now, from this day today, and you are in the exact same position, I truly believe you just wasted an entire year of your life. If you
Yep.
did not grow, if you did not learn, and you're still doing the same job, making the same money, nothing's changed, you're in the same house, and your room looks the exact same, you have wasted a whole year of your life. That's how
Yep.
I see things. So that's just me. But
I agree, buddy.
yeah, man.
I agree. I mean, time is the most fucking precious thing in this world. You know, you can never get time back. Why fucking waste it?
Well, it's our biggest
Or at
commodity.
least waste it on good fucking shit like this. Listen to us. Waste it on fucking waste your fucking time on listening to us. That's what you need to do. Well,
That's not wasting. That's more
uh,
like using your time wisely
yeah,
by
exactly.
listening to us.
Yeah, there we go.
But
Yeah, he like he said.
I think, Eric, I think that is it for tonight, my friend.
Yeah, I think so too, brother. I think I had a good time, man. I mean, this is fucking awesome. I can do this again. What do you think?
Do it again. Fuck. I'll retire at this microphone.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I
You,
like it. I like it a lot.
yeah, so you know, you guys listen out there, we really appreciate it. We love you all. You know,
We do.
you guys got any questions, or you want us to bring up any topics that you want us to, you know, touch base on?
Yeah.
You know, whether it's
Put it in the
anonymous,
comments.
put it in the
Yeah. Fuck
comments,
yeah.
send us an email, you know,
Hell yeah.
and we will definitely, you know, answer back to everybody, you know, and we got a lot of stories going forward, and we got a lot of guests coming, and
Definitely.
it means the world to be sitting here, talking to you guys, man. So
Yeah.
on my end, if you can't find good people, be good people. I'm out.
100%. And so, like Joey said, I mean, if you even got like something crazy you want to share and you're willing to share all that shit, let us know. We'll be in contact with you. We'll see where we can go and maybe get you on the show even and spread I don't know, your advice. I mean, like Joey said before, everybody goes through different things, and me and Joey haven't gone through everything. So maybe you've gone through something that you can share. So yeah, feel free to let us know. Anyways, I'm fucking out of here. Be good or be good at it.